Now live from the Cake Studios, this is Good Morning Kansas.
Cold front on the way to Cakeland. While it's not going to bring us much rain, it will make us cooler for Wednesday. Look at those numbers coming up.
Well, we're tracking that breaking news this morning. Multiple people are shot in downtown Wichita.
It happened shortly after 12:30 this morning outside the Enigma Club and Lounge in Old Town. Cake's Annette Lawless is live downtown with what we are learning. And Annette, I understand you've moved locations and we've got a better view of what happened.
Absolutely, Pilar. We're trying to get a better vantage point just to show exactly what is taking place this morning. Officers blocking off this area of a very active crime scene. We can see that yellow crime scene tape right in front of us. And then just behind all of that, investigators are inside of that building. And if you look at the windows and doors in the front of that club, they are broken as a result of everything that had taken place this morning. But it's been so busy throughout the morning. Police tell us everything of what they know, and they believe it all started with a fight of some sort at this club, which one man then got kicked out. And they believe that he later walked back and started shooting into the club from the street, hitting 8 people. We do know that one man has died as a result of his injuries. 2 others are in the hospital with life-threatening injuries. And again, police, they're still looking for the shooter, and they expect to be out at the scene for several hours.
We're still gathering video, processing the scene down here, and interviewing multiple witnesses that were in and around the club when this happened.
We've seen those officers walking in and out of the building, taking pictures as well on the outside as they're trying to piece together everything as to what happened. Again, they're still searching for the suspect in this case, and they would appreciate any tips from folks. You can call police at 911, of course, and then you can also call Crime Stoppers if you want to leave a tip anonymously. That number to reach them is 316-267-2111. Reporting live in Wichita, Annette Lawless, Cake News on your side. Good morning, everybody. I don't know if you've been catching our updates here on Good Morning Kansas, but I wanted to share everything on my Facebook fan page as well of a deadly shooting that we've been sharing with you from Old Town, Wichita. The shooting taking place pretty early this morning. We've been out here on scene with officers trying to get information on what all had taken place, but I want to just give you a good idea of what all had transpired just hours ago. So if you've ever been down here to Old Town, this is a look at where we are. So we are at this club between 2nd Street's all the way down there, and then on the other end we have 3rd Street, and we're pretty close to Mosley. This is over at the Enigma Club and Lounge, and officers had just left this area, I would say maybe about 30 minutes ago or so, and this is what's left after that shooting. So it took place around 12:30 this morning. Officers rushing out here, trying to piece together everything as to what happened. But look at the front doors, and this is the doorway for both sides. So the doors and the windows, the glass shattered out. I would imagine, I wasn't here when we interviewed those officers earlier, but we know that the suspect at one point believed to be a person who was a patron at the club, was kicked out, and then had come back and then started shooting from the street over here. So I imagine that they shot through maybe these, and this is how the glass shattered, but it could have been from something else certainly too. Pretty scary thing to think about, certainly. But glass, all this debris left behind. There's the inside of the club where a lot of things are scattered on the floor. We know that overall 8 people were shot, including the victim who died. 2 people do have life-threatening injuries, and we know some other people do have serious injuries as well. So we're waiting right now at this point to get more information from police about the victims involved, and certainly the suspect, who as of this moment, we know that the person has not been arrested, but we're taking a look at arrest sheets this morning and all sorts of details to make sure that you all are informed on everything as best we can. But it's a story certainly we'll be tracking for you throughout the morning. So again, shooting over here, Old Town Wichita, just behind the Marriott, just north of there. Shooting taking place where 8 people were shot, 1 killed, and a lot more, certainly, questions that people have in regard to the investigation. We don't have a very specific description of the person who they believe is responsible, Once we have more details that could be useful, we'll share that information with you. And certainly if we find out more, like if there was an arrest or anything made in connection to the case, we'll share more with that as well. But certainly a big story. You'll probably see it on national headlines this morning because we know that with everything that had happened out here, they had a big event that was planned, a Labor Day celebration where people were coming to enjoy some time in Old Town and ended up with a deadly shooting. So we'll provide updates, and you can see everything with the link in the story here on cake.com. If you happen to have information that could help with the case, you can call 911 or you can call Crime Stoppers. The number to reach Crime Stoppers is 316-267-2111. Again, I'll make sure that we have details with that in the description here on this post here on Facebook, as well as the article on cake.com. We'll continue to provide updates for you all throughout the day. Thanks for watching.
Well, we're tracking breaking news this morning. Multiple people shot in downtown Wichita overnight.
It all happened shortly after 12:30 this morning outside the Enigma Club and Lounge in Old Town. Cake's Annette Lawless is live downtown with what we are learning. Annette, recent changes in the scene out there?
Absolutely, Pilar. In fact, in the past 20 minutes or so, officers now leaving that scene, giving us an advantage of moving up just a little bit closer to give you an idea of what all had taken place. Now, again, a person has started shooting from the outside of this club in, and take a look at the entryway here with the windows and doors, glass scattered throughout on the ground, on the inside. Imagine that scene as people were inside of that club early this morning. This is what we know about everything that had taken place, though. So in the past several hours, officers have been out here investigating everything that they can. They tell us that a man was kicked out of the club and they believe he returned and then started shooting from the street, leaving that debris behind, as we just saw right here. Now, we do know that several people were shot, 8 people in total. One of those people has died, and then we know that a couple other people do have life-threatening injuries. Officers, though, they're trying to piece together everything they can with this case.
We're still gathering video, processing the scene down here, and interviewing multiple witnesses that were in and around the club when this happened.
And we're working to get an update with those officers on the investigation, including more on the suspect description. The suspect does remain at large from what we know. So if you have information that can help police, call 911 or Crime Stoppers at this number, 316-267-2111. Now here's what's coming up next on GMA.
An update now on breaking news we've been following all morning. Multiple people shot, 1 dead in downtown Wichita. It happened shortly after 12:30 this morning outside the Enigma Club and Lounge in Old Town. Police just a few moments ago identifying the victim as 34-year-old Preston Spencer. Cake's Annette Lawless is live downtown with the latest on what we are learning. Annette?
Pilar, we're learning that 5 additional women at least were hurt as a result of everything that had transpired at this nightclub. We're told those women, though, are expected to be okay. However, we are waiting for an update from police to see if that suspected shooter has been arrested. I can tell you, though, we saw a man out here taking some measurements outside of these doors that were broken through as a result of that shooting from early this morning. He was taking those measurements so everything could get boarded up and close up this area where we see plenty of debris from everything that transpired. Again, police rushing out here after 12:30, as Pilar mentioned, as a result of what shooting had happened over here at this nightclub. We're taking a look at footage even from overnight from people who had shared some video and pictures online, and this place was packed inside. But seeing all of the debris and everything that had taken place in the aftermath of everything, we imagine that it was probably quite a chaotic scene. Investigators spending many hours out here this morning. Again, they're hoping that maybe someone can give them some information to help with this case. If you have details that can help, call 911 or Crime Stoppers at this number, 316-267-2111. We expect a briefing with police, which we will take live at 11 o'clock this morning, and we'll have an update throughout our midday show as well. Reporting live in Wichita, Annette Lawless, Cake News on your side.
We're learning new details this morning about a deadly shooting at a club in Old Town. Wichita police identifying the man killed as 34-year-old Preston Spencer. The shooting happened shortly after midnight outside the Enigma Club and Lounge in Old Town near 3rd and Washington. Police now say the suspect is Keshawn Maurice Dawson. Now, Wichita police just wrapped up a news conference moments ago from City Hall. KAKE's Annette Lawless has been following this all morning. Annette, what did police have to say?
Pilar, police say that they're continuing to look for Kayshawn Dawson, and they say that it's through social media and video footage that helped them identify him as the suspect in this deadly shooting. A very busy morning for officers over at the scene in Old Town. The shooting taking place around 12:30 this morning, and I will tell you, it was such a busy scene as investigators tried to piece together everything as to what led up to what happened out there. So they tell us that Dawson had gone into the nightclub. There was some sort of fight or altercation, and he was kicked out. Then he came back, and from the sidewalk outside, he started shooting. And that's where these individuals got hurt. One man has died as a result of the shooting, and 5 women were rushed to the hospital. We're told that those women are expected to be okay. The victims being described as being in their 20s to 40s. But at this point, they're hoping the community can help in regards to finding Kayshawn Dawson. Again, a man who is believed to be responsible for this shooting out in Old Town. They're hoping that anyone with information will call 911 or to call Crime Stoppers at 316-267-2111. We're told that he is considered to be dangerous. He has 2 felony warrants out right now. We're trying to get additional details as to what those warrants are connected to. Police gathering that information for us, and we'll share it here with you as soon as we get it. Reporting live in Wichita, Annette Lawless, KAKE News on your side.
All right, thanks, Annette. Stay with KAKE News for the latest information on this shooting on air and online as soon as we get it at kake.com.